Recording.
So, various of our clients are asking about handling diversity in a much better way. And when they think about diversity and inclusion, they cannot deny the concept of generations. We have millennials, we have X, baby boomers, and now about to come the generation. So when you hear me talking about generations, is that something that appealed to you?
Really, that I realized that when I work with different people, like I got different responses. Like when I worked with somebody, immediately I got feedback. When I worked with somebody else, it took them a week.
You experience Parkland, you live here, and we are in Parkland today. What has changed to your generation?
I think that it's mobilized us. We're starting to employ the skills that we've already learned through our classes and through open discussion, which is a really big part of our curriculum now in schools. And I think that this event in Parkland hasn't really changed our generation, but it's just given us a road for us to go down. It's given us a goal to set in mind. I guess thinking more in depth about things that, like for instance, the Constitution, like as it's coming up a lot now, like thinking in ratifying these certain laws and these amendments, was that really the correct move? It's making us think more about institutions, which I think has allowed us to question the institution of the Second Amendment, for instance.
All right.
So that's my input.
Sure. I think that each generation has had a certain amount of trauma. I think that like you look at baby boomers had JFK and millennials had 9/11 and such, and after JFK the government went into action and they found the killer. And after 9/11 a war was declared on Al-Qaeda. After the mass shootings that we continue to have, we see nothing. And I think that's a really big part of why we thought, okay, we're not gonna get anything, I guess we have to do it ourselves.
No, but a big part of that also is that those mass shootings were very interspersed and they affected a group of people, whereas 9/11, it was a terrorism attack on the entire country.
I guess so.
JFK was the president of the entire country. I think a big thing in the movement behind these mass shootings is making the United States aware that this could happen to anybody. This is effective.
One characteristic that we know your generation has is about optimism. And looking at you guys coming out, behaving like this, shows that optimism. But what do you think will happen when you are in a job that you are not enjoying every day? And when you are not going to be hired with all your friends?
I think
How is that going to be?
I think what's going to end up happening is that we wouldn't leave the job. That's what I think. I think what would end up happening is that we would change aspects about the job to make it more accommodating for us, and then we would try to rise up within the company to find, because there's always going to be a reason why we entered that job in the first place. And I think we're going to look for that reason again, and we're going to try to continue on the job that we have. I think that's how we would use that optimism and just searching for a better solution for what we already have.
I think that question is also a little bit like, it's a little bit off, I think, because I don't think I would have ever joined said job if I didn't foresee myself knowing that I would be able to do something in the job. I think that it'll be a section of my hope would be good friends that would each understand their course of action, but at the same time know that said course of action is a part of the stream of progress.
Today you work in an organization, March for Life, where a lot of young people like you and maybe in the same generation. Are there people that are not in your same generation working there?
All of us are between the ages of 15 and 21.
Okay. Have you experienced working with other generations that you can share?
Yeah, I work a lot. I schedule events. We have a adult board that basically tells us what we can and can't do legally wise. And working with them, we have on that board we have many like lawyers and people who give us that consulting advice, and then we also have 2 student government board leaders, 2 students, 2 like an 18-year-old and a 21-year-old on that board, and basically nothing on that board ever gets done until those 2 student leaders say this is what we want to do.
Isabella, you are 16 and you are already working for a non-profit organization that practically you formed yourself, or it's a team. Tell us more about it.
Well, me and my friend Connor and Jack, we decided that we wanted to form our own nonprofit organization and to encourage student advocacy, because I felt that a lot of demographics weren't being represented, even though gun violence was affecting them as well. So we started a student advocacy organization, which basically facilitates the conversation between not only Republicans and Democrats, but also between people that are culturally and philosophically diverse.
Well, this will sound crazy to you, but my firm dedicates to train people in diversity and inclusion. That for you would be like learning how to read your emails. No? So tell me more about what is that diverse teams that you are leading, and you don't need to learn anything about inclusion. You are already there. Tell me more about it, Isabella.
I guess for instance, in Parkland, we have basically all races and demographics and mentalities underneath the sun. So I'm very used to seeing different religions and different ideas, and it just strikes me as absurd when I see discrimination, because it doesn't make any logical sense.
You see both contributing to the workplace in the future.
And I feel like the main thing that Generation Z would contribute to the workforce is efficiency. We like things done fast, but well. We like things done as quickly as possible, but with the most effective results. So I think what's going to end up happening is that more work is going to be done informally, more work is going to be done from home, and by technology, through computers. Like in my group, we don't have meetings unless we have to see each other to discuss something, to meet other people.
I prefer working just on my computer. I like having like a specific place to work, but I don't really have hours for which to work. Like I can fool around at my office space for a good 30 minutes before going to like type something, like a specific email or something. But at the same time, while I fool around, I'm enjoying that work, I'm enjoying the people that I work with, and thus I don't mind working larger hours, just because while I'm working, it's a little less efficient, but it's a lot more enjoyable.
Okay.
Anything else that you would like to share about your generation?
But at the same time, I've always wanted to be that guy to be able to do whatever I wanted. Like if I needed to like run a schedule, or I needed to ride a skateboard. Like I wanted to be able to do everything if I needed to myself. Now, my hope was always to learn from other people and to have them teach me what I needed to know so that I could fend for myself. So as for flexibility, the hope would be that we'd be able, for myself at least, I would hope that I would be able to be as flexible enough that I would be able to get anything done if I only had myself. But at the same time, I understand that's not necessarily possible, and thus I plan to reach out so that other people can either help or teach me.
So I'm listening to very good thoughts during these conversations, or things about your characteristics on the face-to-face, that we thought you were always more in your computer, that you are now enjoying the face-to-face. I'm listening different ways of learning, also a tolerance factor, and I love the way you describe it, the way that you live diversity and inclusion. So definitely your optimism and your vision is contagious. So I'm very proud to be with you guys and congratulate you for the things that you are doing. And for our friends and clients, please stay tuned.